to your biology class. In today's class, we are going to talk about the epithelial tissue. If you remember, children, we are talking about the plant tissues. Okay, we have studied about so many different types of tissues. If you can recall, children, you may know that plant tissues can be broadly categorized as meristematic tissues and permanent tissues. Okay, now meristematic tissues are responsible for the growth. Okay, the plants are able to grow because of this type of tissue. Now if we talk about permanent tissues are the mature tissues. They are not responsible for the growth, but they are responsible for storing the food, for making the food, and for protecting the food. Okay, so all the food that is being made, that is being transported is possible because of the permanent tissues. Now they are responsible for the growth. Now simple permanent tissues are the tissues which are responsible for protecting, they are responsible for providing support, food to the plants. In that we studied about parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma, erenchyma, remember? So in today's class we are going to talk about a very different type of tissue that is known as epidermal tissues or epidermis tissue. Okay, now children, suppose the plant is growing. Okay, plant is growing, it has food and everything, but it doesn't have the protection. Do you think that the plant will be able to survive? The very obvious answer would be no. Okay, so just as we humans have this skin, similarly plants also have skin, and that skin is known as epithermal tissue or epidermis tissue. Okay, so let's see this. Now you will see here, if you can see here, I don't know if you can see. So in this we have already studied about meristematic tissues which provides the growth, permanent tissues. They are responsible for making the food and for protection, for the transport of food and water. Now today we are going to talk about epidermal tissues. Okay, we will be talking about epidermal tissues. They are the special type of tissues. Now if you can see here, okay, what can you see? You will be able to see the whole board. In that board you can see that at one side there is a plant and on the other hand we have humans. Now if I talk about humans, in humans there are so many organs. Yes, in humans there are so many organs inside it. Now these organs, okay, these organs, there is lungs, there is kidney, there is pancreas, stomach, brain, all these organs are present inside our body. Now, how do you think these organs are safe? Their safety is at most, yes, because without these organs we cannot function, we cannot survive. There is no worth of tissues or cells if these organs are not being protected. So, how you can protect your organs? For example, if there is winter, suppose there is winter, so probably you will wear woolen clothes, you will wear sweaters. If there is winter, then you will wear coat, you will wear gloves, you will wear other scarf and all those things to cover yourself, okay, so that your organs are protected. Also if there is rain, okay, also if there is rain, what you are going to do? You will probably take an umbrella, okay, you will take an umbrella and you will protect yourself from the rain. Okay, also if there is a lot of sun, how will you protect yourself? You will probably go and take some shade under a tin or under a roof. Yes, so these are the ways by which you can protect yourself. Okay, now what about the plants? What can you say about the plants? Because plants are also continuously in the winter climate, they are in the harsh hot climate, they also suffer with the rain, heat, storm and whatnot, and on the top of that they can't move. They can't literally move, they can't wear these sweaters, woolen clothes, umbrella. Then how do you think they are able to protect themselves? How they are protecting themselves? How that tissues which are present inside the plant, whether you call it meristematic tissues, parenchyma, sclerenchyma, so many tissues are there. How do you think they are protecting themselves? Also children, even if we don't have these things, even if you don't have umbrella, even if you don't have gloves, coat and all these things, then also you have skin. Okay, then also you have your skin which is protecting you. Can you see this skin? So this skin is actually protecting you all the time. You have this extra shield. If you will zoom your skin, you will see that it has this type of layers. It has so many different types of, so many cells. Okay, so that is called as the skin tissues. They are your skin tissues. Now, what do you think? Do plants also have a skin? Because they are not able to move, they are not able to change their position, but they are continuously in the harsh climate, in the rain. Then do you think they also have a skin like we humans do? Yes, children, plants also have a skin. Okay, and that skin of plant is known as epidermis tissue. That layer of skin in the plant is called as epidermis tissue. It is present all over the plants from tip to roots. From shoot to root, they all have this transparent layer which is single layer of continuous cell, which you can see here. You will see these cells. Okay, this is a cell wall. As you can see here in the center there is nucleus. Okay, this is cytoplasm. So they have this layer all over it, which we call as epidermis tissue. Why don't we say it epidermis cell? We will not say it a cell because there are so many cells present. So we will say it now a tissue, because group of cells is known as tissue, because one cell cannot do all the function. So in the plant, this protective layer is known as epidermis tissue, which protect them in winter, which protect them in summer, which protect them in rain and other injuries. Okay, now this epidermis layer, if you can see here, this epidermis layer is transparent. Now if you can see this skin of mine, you will see that this is not transparent. Okay, if it would have been transparent, then you would be able to see the blood flowing through the nerves, playing its role. But this epidermis tissue, this epidermis layer is transparent. Can you tell me why? Can you think of why? Yes, because the leaves have to absorb the sunlight. They have to absorb the sunlight. They have to absorb the other gases. So that is the reason why they are transparent, so that sunlight can be absorbed. Okay, so that is the reason why they are transparent. Now, epidermis also has this a protective role to play in the plants. They protect them from the injuries. Okay, now for example, if you fall, okay, so how you are protecting yourself? Your skin is protecting yourself. Now, what would be the case in the plants? How plants can protect themselves from injuries? First of all, you should know that what is injury for plants. Okay, we just saw that when there is a rain, when there is cold, or when there is heat or some other harsh climate, the epidermis layer, this transparent layer which looks like this, it will protect the plants. Now, what about the other injuries? For example, the insect. If you can remember, if you can recall, you will see that many insects also eat plants. They also eat plants. Okay, rats, silkworm, other honeybees, they are continuously eating the plants. Okay, for the plant, for these insects, it would be their food. Okay, for these insects, it may be their food, but for the plants, it is the injury. Okay, that is the harm that is caused by these insects. Also, if you can see here, I am sure you must have heard about this silkworm, okay, from which we get the silk. So this silkworm is feed on mulberry leaf. Okay, so it eats the mulberry leaves, and mulberry is its food, but for the plant it is the injury. So to avoid this, to avoid the injury from insects, because being eaten away by insects and animals causes plant injuries. So to avoid that, they have a special layer. Okay, that is the epidermis layer in the rose plant. Can you see that in the rose plant they have spines all over it? Can you see here? I hope you can see it. So these are the spines. These are nothing but the protection. This is the protective layer. So these tissues are growing outward. Okay, some tissues are inside the plant layer. So this is the extended epidermis layer, which is known as cuticle. Okay, so they are protecting the plants from the other insects which can eat them. Also in the tomato plant you must have seen these hairy like things. This is not clear, but if you go in the garden you will see that in the tomato they have this hairy like structure that is also a extended epidermis tissue which is growing outward. Okay, so this is how the epidermis layer protect the plants from the insects or from the injuries. Also this epidermis which is transparent, thin transparent layer prevents the water loss. Okay, if you will see the human beings 70% of our body is made up of water, but continuously when we go out in the sun is taking our water, the water is being evaporating, but we can move, right? We can move, so we can easily go to some water source and we can quench our thirst. But what about the plants? Plants can't do that. Okay, so continuously their water can lose. Okay, they might lose all their water content. So that is the role of epidermis layer. Epidermis layer protects, it prevents the water from evaporation. Okay, very good example of lotus. If you can see the lotus, you will see that it is very sticky. Okay, why it is sticky? It has this waxy coating so as to prevent the water loss. Okay, and this epidermis layer is waterproof. So the another way by which epidermis tissue or epidermis layer prevent the plant is by giving protection against the water loss. This water loss is very critical in desert area because all the plants are continuously in the sun. Also the sun is very harsh there, less water is available there. So water loss is very critical there. So there you will see that they have this epidermis layer which is spines. Okay, also you will see that their stem is very sticky. Okay, that is made more sticky so as to prevent the water loss. Now what do you think? Water is so important. We are talking about that water is so important that we have to prevent its loss. So it means that plants need to collect more and more water. Yes or no? Because water is very important for them. It means that they need more and more water. So from where that water comes? Water comes from the ground, or you can say from the soil. And which organ, which part helps in absorbing the water? Roots. Yes. Now in the roots also you will see these. Now if you can take the root, okay, suppose this is a root, okay, you will see these hairy projections. Okay, these soft hair projections, they are nothing but the epidermis tissue. They are not the roots, they are the epidermis tissues which increase the surface area, for absorption. For example, if it would have been only this much, अगर ये इतना ही root होगा, what will happen? The water will be absorbed less. But epidermis tissues are providing this extra surface so that more and more water can be absorbed from the root. So that is another importance of epidermis tissues. They not only prevent the plant from the injuries, but they also prevent water loss. Also they help in more and more absorption of water. Now another very important role of epidermis tissue is to provide gaseous exchange. To provide the gaseous exchange. We all know that humans breathe with the help of their nose, then it goes to windpipe, then it goes to lungs. From their lungs, in the lungs, the cells exchange the gases and then it comes back in the surrounding. This is how we respire. In the plants also, they need carbon dioxide because they have to prepare their food. They have to prepare their food with the process called photosynthesis. So they need the carbon dioxide. Now, how that carbon dioxide is being taken by the plants? See, if you will see these leaves, we all know that leaves have this coating of epidermis layer they have this epidermis layer, yes. Now on this layer, on this epidermis layer, there are stomata cells. There are special type of cells which we call as stomata cells. If you can see here, you will notice that this is the leaf and this is the epidermis layer in which there are epidermis tissue. Between this layer, we will find stomata. Okay, this stomata help in absorbing the carbon dioxide through these holes and giving back oxygen, which in turn taken by all the living organisms for our survival. So you can imagine the importance of epidermis tissue. If you can see here, you will notice these are the stomata cells which are present in the epidermis tissue. If there will be no epidermis tissue, the stomata cells will not find any place to live. Also they have this guard cells which close the gate of these stomata when they are not required. Okay, so that is the role of epidermis tissue. Now you can see some microscopic picture. See, this is the microscopic picture of stomata. These are the root hairs. If you can see, these are also the root hairs. These are the cuticles which I show you in the rose. In the rose plants, you must have seen those spines. Those spines are due to the epidermis tissue. They are protecting the plant from being taken away. Okay. So now we just talked about epidermis tissue. Now what would be the case when the plant is grown up now? Now our plant is a big grown up tree. Okay. Now do you think that the epidermis layer will be sufficient enough to provide the protection? What do you think? If the plant is now grown up, do you think that the same epidermis layer, the thin layer, will provide the protection, necessary protection to the big tree? No, it would not be sufficient enough. So what? In that case, you must have seen the bark. Do you understand what is bark? If you will see the trunk of a big tree, you will see this bark. If you will remove it, it scribbles away. Okay, so that is the bark of a tree. Now this bark becomes the new epidermis. As the plant grows, as the plant grows into a tree, that epidermis layer converts into bark. So the bark that you see at the outside of the trunk of a tree is actually a tissue. Okay, and that is now dead tissues. Okay, they become dead tissue. Okay, so now these layers are being formed. So these layers actually tells us the age of the plant. So more the trees, more the layers are there in the bark of a tree, it means that counts the age of a tree. Now this study is known as dendrology. The study of rings in the trunk of a tree so as to get the age of a tree this study is known as dendrology. Now that epidermis becomes bark of a tree which provides the necessary protection to the internal tissues. Okay, so now you understood, children, that there are so many tissues working all throughout the air inside the plants. All these tissues are working because of the epidermis tissues. There will be no epidermis tissue. These plants cannot survive because these tissue will have no use without the protection layer that we call as epidermis tissue. So we all should respect the trees, we all should take care of the trees because that is made possible due to all the hard work that is done by the tissues. That's all in today's class. Next class will be continued from this. Take care.